But can't progress on the show without talking about what's going on in the banking sector as well. So let's chat a little bit more about that. And the 12,600 crore rupee PNB scam notwithstanding, RBI's new resolution framework for stressed assets has also dealt with a big blow to banks. And ET now learns from sources that the banks have written to the RBI seeking for clearance in the case of several thermal power companies. We've got Neha Bothra, who is joining in with all the details on the forbearance period for the thermal power assets. Neha, what are the relief measures that the banks are seeking from the regulator?
Indeed, Avan, do remember that over half of the private thermal capacity that we have in the country poses to turn into a NPA should these norms be implemented straight away, according to banking sources that we've been interacting with. According to the sources, the banks have already written to the Reserve Bank of India seeking a continuation of 180 days as far as the forbearance for several of these power companies is concerned. Do remember that the new norms have already scrapped many of the reject tools like SDR, CDR and S4A, and thereby many of these assets find themselves in the lurch. Essentially, what the relief measures include are, number one, most importantly, a continuation of 180 days in the forbearance period for many of these assets that could be undergoing SDR or S4A. Because remember that the bulk of the restructured assets, if they have to be classified under the new NPA norms, will be equivalent to NPA as of the 1st of March. And that is about 2% of the total loan book for many of the banks. Apart from that, the new norms also say that as far as the SMA 0 accounts are concerned, any default has to be revealed and notified in the first day of the default by the company. And this makes it more difficult for power companies because do remember they have a very complicated structure as far as sourcing of coal is concerned. And the business is such wherein there tends to be a delay in payment. Now, banks say that if it has to be disclosed on day one, many of these accounts that could otherwise be regular accounts will fall on the wrong side and thereby make business more difficult for them. Essentially, we are talking about new thermal power projects that are coming up and also the existing capacity that is likely to be added to these power assets. The companies that are in focus and find mention as far as the request to RBI is concerned include the likes of KSK Group, Adani Power, GVK, JMR. These are the big power companies that we have in the country and that could find themselves on the stressed asset side should these norms be implemented by the 1st of March as is categorically notified by the banking regulator.
Okay, Neha, we'll leave it at that.